It's time now for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southwest region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors Southwest.
Hi everybody, welcome into our show. I'm so happy you chose to join us this week. We're going to do something very interesting in the next half hour. To get this set up, let me introduce you just over my left shoulder and just under that bridge to beautiful Lake Austin. This is the Colorado River that's dammed up and runs right through Austin, Texas. And I can tell you from experience that it is one of the most highly traveled, heavily trafficked lakes in the entire state of Texas. Every kind of ski boat, pleasure boat, cruiser, runabout, yacht, paddleboard, jet ski, you name it, it runs up and down this river constantly during the warm weather months. And because of that, the bass get highly pressured and they get really finicky and spooky and difficult to catch. On this week's show, we're going to give you some tips and techniques that will help you catch bass on your favorite pressured lake going into the summertime months, and we'll use this lake as a test tube. Also, there's one other major difference in Lake Austin from a year ago at this time, and I'll explain what that is as well. And while I'm out doing that, we're running you around your region for your latest fishing reports from your local lakes, rivers, and bays from our expert team of insider reporters. We're in for a half hour of fun. Let's get the Nitro Z8 launched into Lake Austin, and right now let's get this thing started. Back at the FSN studios, here's your weekend planner.
Overall, the Salooner tables are predicting peak conditions for fishing activity to take place on Saturday this weekend, with the best times expected to begin in the afternoon at 1:52. Look for the sun to rise at 6:27 and set at 8:21. And we had a full moon this week, so evenings will still be bright with the moon 89% visible. Stay with us, we're coming right back with fishing updates from around the Southwest. Plus, I'll return with Captain Rob Ferris on the Whataburger Ask the Pro.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. By Mercury Marine, celebrating 75 years of marine excellence. By Stren Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability. By Tracker Boats, it's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. And by Fort Worth Nissan. Fox Sports Outdoors is powered by Fort Worth Nissan.
There's fish right there, fish. Got him, there he comes. Clear water in there. Good fish, we'll just swing him aboard. All right, there's a way to get it going. Hey, welcome back everybody. We're on Lake Austin today. That's a spawned out female right there. Headed into the late spring, early summer months. These fish are gonna be moving out deeper. All right, well, let's start off by explaining to you the tale of 2 years. In fact, I'm gonna kick the trolling motor over here where you can get a look. I don't know if you can tell or not. Last year we were at Lake Austin and caught a 10-2 and an 8-11 the same day and a bunch of other 4, 5, 6 pound fish. Just an incredible day, catching them out of grass beds, off the outside edges of grass beds. Came back this year, 1 year later, almost to the day, and all the grass is gone. All the grass is completely gone. I read something where they introduced grass carp into the lake. We had an extremely cold winter, and those two factors combined have virtually eliminated all of the hydrilla beds that were thick and holding all the bass in this lake. So everything is just a sandy, smooth bank, and I have seen really hardly any cover in it. It's just a beach, basically. Real difficult to fish that kind of water, so we're gonna have to completely change our techniques from a year ago. And what I did then was just tied on a biffle bug on a Texas rig, and I'm just throwing it out off the outside edges of these sand flats and just hoping to run into a little piece of cover, a little stump, a rock, a little ditch, anything that might hold a fish out here in front of us. But you can see there's a row of docks here as well. Most of those docks are up in too shallow a water to hold a fish, especially going into the summertime months. So we'll experiment around, see how much has changed and what we can do to find, locate, catch a few fish on Lake Austin. Let's get you started right now with some fishing reports. Let's start in Texas. Here's Brian Hughes, followed by Bill Olson.
Hi folks, this week on Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Deck, the most innovative truck bed storage system ever. We haven't made it very far since last week, just over to Lake Athens, which I would call a sleeping giant, except it's not a giant at under 2,000 acres. And it's no longer sleeping either. With 2 bass over 13 pounds in the Cheryl Unker program this year, Athens has awakened. Now you have 3 ways to fish for big bass on this lake. You can start in the vegetation early in the morning. It's really thick around the shorelines. You can use your jigs, frogs, and Texas rigs around the various grasses and lily pads on the lake. Or you can go to boat docks. Use your trick worms between the docks in blue glimmer and chartreuse colors. And then of course on the docks you'll want to throw jigs up under and around, Texas rigs as well. Use your rattle traps and spinner baits to work the outside edges. And finally there's offshore structure. Find the creek ditches and humps out in deeper water. Use your Carolina rigs with French fries, drop shot rigs with finesse worms, or of course your Alabama rigs as well. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you by Deck, who reminds you, work smarter, play harder. Now let's check in with Mr. Bill Olson. He's on the coast.
Hi folks, this week's report is brought to you by Port Aransas on Mustang Island, the fishing capital of Texas, where anglers enjoy pristine bays, estuaries, 18 miles of surf, and the deep blue waters of the Gulf of Mexico. Plus the local restaurants will even cook your catch come sundown. Come fish and play Texas Island style. For more information, visit portaransas.org. Well, here we are in mid-May and fronts continue to push through that have winds switching from the southeast to the north, resulting in fluctuating tides. Temperatures continue to warm slightly and fishing is trying to find some consistency. On the middle and lower coast, a topwater bite is produced for anglers fishing back lakes, shorelines, and on the flats. Now on the upper coast, topwater lures have also produced over reefs, while anglers wade fishing East Galveston Bay continue to have success while fishing slow-sinking corkies. Anglers along the middle coast are celebrating the arrival of croaker season. Anglers fishing live bait around grass beds have caught some really nice speckled trout. On the upper coast, bait continues to come into Sabine Lake. Bird activity is starting to pick up in the middle and lower portion of that lake. Trout continue to be caught around the Sabine jetties. The Galveston jetties are also seeing an improved trout bite. Sheepshead, scattered drum, and redfish are also in the mix. Live shrimp have been the bait of choice. Now the most consistent bite continues on the lower Laguna Madre. Out of Port Isabel, Longbar is giving up some solid fish. Anglers continue to fish the color line from the convention center northward, and the area around 3 islands has turned on. Best efforts have come by anglers using live bait or voodoo shrimp under a rattling float. This weekend, both Saturday and Sunday have a double tide schedule of 2 high and 2 low tides each day. I'm Bill Olson, and I'll see you on the coast.
Right on that stump. Look at this. Good fish. Wow. All right. Come here, Big Daddy. There's a good chunk right there. How about that? Welcome back, everybody. Fox Sports Outdoors today. Fishing right in Austin, Texas. Austin Lake, which is actually the Colorado River, 21 miles of the Colorado River. It's got a little dam in it and got a lot of bass in it. But I'll tell you, this place is probably the most heavily pressured fishery, bass fishery, in the entire state of Texas. You cannot imagine how many ski boats, jet skis, paddle boards, bass boats, everything you can imagine goes up and down this river. All right, we'll let that one go back. Watch this. Very clear water, and under the boat he goes. I'll tell you, we're having to do something today because of the traffic, because of the pressure and the heavily pressured fish here. You got to really go to some stealth tactics. Here's a couple of things If your favorite lake gets a lot of fishing pressure like this one does, anywhere in our region across the southern half of the country, there are some things you can do to combat that and get more strikes. First of all, you can go to fluorocarbon line. This is Stren Fluorocast. It's my all-around favorite fishing line, and I've downsized it to about, I think I've got 14-pound test on here, which is about as small a line as I'll bass fish with. It's very clear. It's got a 0 refractive index, which means it's basically gin clear in water. It's the same color as water. So you can do that. You can downsize, and you can see here I've gone to a little bitty worm. That's a Jean LaRue salt head shaky worm, and I'll show you the tackle again at the end of the show in the Academy Right Stuff. You can do that, downsize, slow down, and fish every visible piece of cover, and use that fluorocast line, and you'll have a much better chance of getting strikes. All right, let's get you some more fishing reports. Let's go to Oklahoma with Gary Dolliver.
Hey, Oklahoma's big old Lake Eufaula is an amazing fishery, and they are biting there. If you haven't decided where you're going fishing this week, I suggest targeting Lake Eufaula. You can catch the bass on the windy, rocky points throwing spinnerbaits and dragging biffle bugs. As far as the crappie, they're on the banks. I stopped and visited with Larry and Janice Russell at Crappie Pro. While there, a couple of guides stopped in, said they had an amazing day on the water. The fish are shallow all across the lake. I also stopped at Lake Eufaula Marina, visited with some anglers who were fishing in and around the dock there. H.D. Hendricks of Broken Arrow was having a good day using a double baby shad rig, having best success on electric chicken color. Now that part of the lake has quite a bit of color to the water, so when you fish it, think about fishing shallow, 4 feet of water and less. I also talked to marina owner Jason Brown. Here's his assessment as to what's going on around the dock at this time.
We had a guy today catch about 15, and for me that would be considered it's decent, good. I mean, he didn't catch his limit, that would be good. If he caught it before breakfast, it would be excellent. But that's about how the spring has been. The best colors have been electric chicken. I would have to say the double silver rainbow to the Cajun cricket. Generally the electric chicken, the blue thunder, the black gum are my hottest selling baits. The inside dock, which is heated and has 4 wells in it, it's open from 6 to 5. The outside of the dock is open 24 hours. I do charge $5 a person. If anyone's over 55, I charge $4. Children 12 and under, it's $3. And the fishing fee rolls over until the next day until we reopen again.
Lake Eufaula, a great choice this week, but one thing about it, you can't catch them if you don't go.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Costa Sunglasses. See what's out there. By Luz, setting a new standard in fishing performance. Feel the difference. By Strike King Lures, #1 in fishing. By Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate. And by Whataburger, get your day started at Whataburger with the new jalapeno cheddar biscuit.
There he is. Trying to catch up with him. Hey, welcome back everybody. We're on Lake Austin today. I got something. I caught a couple of white bass earlier, so this could be a white. I've changed again on you, and I'll explain what I've done. No, it's a good black. Good largemouth. Got a mouthful of that stuff. There we go. All right. There's a good largemouth for you right there. All right, well, we've changed again. Talking about finesse fishing and talking about making pressured fish bite. There's a good way to do it, but there's a little key to it here. That's just a good, solid, early summertime largemouth. We'll put it back right here. See you, bud. What I've done right now is I've run up the river, and I'm looking for grass beds. Headed into summertime, pressured fish will migrate like a magnet towards any available grass. That grass provides shade, provides oxygen, and provides bait fish. It's a place that bait fish migrate around to, and so the largemouth will move in around any available aquatic vegetation, milfoil, coontail, hydrilla, even shallow grass. So I drove up the river until I actually saw some grass on my sonar, and I'll show you a quick shot of what some of it looked like. There's not a lot of it here, but I found a little patch of it, and I put on lipless rattling crankbait. That's a Strike King red eye shad. I'll show it to you later. Put it on a crankbait rod. This is only the second time I've gotten to fish this crankbait rod by losing. I'll show it to you a little later as well. But rolling it out here on the outside edges of some little patches of grass will get you bit on a highly pressured lake going into the summertime. You got me bit right here at Lake Austin. Let's check in now with some more fishing reports. Let's go to Cajun Phil and Kevin in Louisiana.
Over at Houma, Louisiana, it's actually Dulac is what they call the town. Bill Lake, Captain Bill Lake and his son and his other guides, they've been slaughtered the speckled trout and redfish each and every day. They throw in mostly the voodoo shrimp and the voodoo mullet, and they're catching a lot of fish. They're limiting out with both speckled trout and redfish almost every day. Over in Delacroix, Louisiana, I talked to Captain Jack. He runs the Sweetwater Marina. Captain Jack says he's catching lots of redfish using what they call market shrimp. He's using it on the popping cork about 18 inches. And it's actually a rattling cork, the one that makes a little noise, sound like a shrimp. That's what he's putting the market shrimp under. And he's going down the shoreline, just popping it a few times, popping it a few times. He's catching some nice redfish. He said as far as the speckled trout, most of them are throwing tails right now and catching pretty good on the trout. As far as offshore goes, well, Josh Howard's still doing really good down there. He's catching lots of tuna. He says Cajun right now, said the tuna ranges from 60 to about 130 pounds. That's the yellowfin tuna. They're also bringing in a lot of blackfin and also a few amberjacks starting to show up, and they're still catching a few wahoo. So you want an offshore trip, that's a pretty good bet. I tell you what, as far as the bass fishing goes, the only report I got this week is from my good friend up at Toledo Bend, Captain Joe Jocelyn. Captain Jocelyn's been fishing mostly on the Texas side of Toledo Bend. He's been drifting the flats around the 6 Mile Marina using Carolina rigged plastic lizards. And he's been picking up some pretty good bass each and every day. Fish is picking up each and every day. Hope this wind doesn't mess up the water. Right now, it's pretty good fishing. You need to come on down. Like we said, Cajun Paradise Lodge and Charters, come and get you some.
There he is. Oh, that feels like a good pull. Coming up. What have I got? Oh, decent fish. Out here, rocking and rolling with all the boats. Just like I told you, this place is pretty phenomenal as far as the boat traffic. I tell you, we haven't done nearly as well as I expected to do on this trip, but we've caught a bunch of good quality fish and several 3.5 to 4.5 pound fish, so it has not been a bad trip at all. All right, we're gonna let this fish go back. We're gonna take you to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back for a lot more stuff when we get back. All the gear info you need on the Academy Right Stuff. We'll have a couple of my little thoughts on the stuff that matters, and we'll have somebody winning free Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week. We'll be right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Exide AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. By Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. By Motor Guide, trolling motors engineered for anglers. And by Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Welcome to the big leagues.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for one of your questions to be answered by a fishing professional on the Whataburger Ask the Pro. This week, Brian writes, I like to fish with my bass tackle for inshore species. How can I protect my freshwater reels from saltwater corrosion? For the answer, we checked with Captain Rob Ferris.
If you want to use your freshwater tackle going saltwater fishing, there's just a couple things you may want to do. One is your reels. You can put a light coating of corrosion block on them, wipe them down. And your tackle, you don't necessarily need to put corrosion block on it as far as your lures and your spinner baits, which by the way work very well for redfish and trout. Same tackle you have in your bass box. Just make sure you wash it off really good when you're done at the end of the day. A good dose of fresh water on all of it, your rods, reel, line, and your tackle that you're using. And that pretty much is all you got to do. You can change your hooks out, which I probably would recommend if you spent more than a couple of days doing it. Go ahead and change your hooks, put new hooks on, so when you get back to your lakes, you're ready to go.
Thank you, Rob. If you would like one of our pros to answer your question, just visit our website, click on the Ask the Pro link, and send us your information. Now let's see who wins a pair of brand new Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
This week's winner in the Costa Catch of the Week contest is Lonnie Deeren of Marlin, Texas. He is shown with a 30-pound Jack Revell he caught out of San Luis Pass in Texas. He caught it on bass tackle and 20-pound braided line. If you would like to enter our Catch of the Week contest sponsored by Costa and have a chance to win a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses, all you have to do is go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right side of the front page is the Costa Catch of the Week area. Click there, follow the instructions, send us your big fish photo. You can win a brand new pair of Costas, and you can see all of the Costa frame and lens styles at their website. To get there, just go back to the front page of our website, click on the Costa logo, and you can see all of those frame and lens styles, including the frames I was wearing on this week's episode called Double Haul in the camo pattern. Next up on the Academy Sports and Outdoors Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to catch these late spring, early summer largemouth bass here at Lake Austin and at any other highly pressured lake as we spoke about. This is my first chance to use the brand new Lou's David Fritz Speed Stick cranking rod. It's got lots of flex to it, great feeling rod, great handle. Give this a look at your tackle store. We caught the fish today on 3 bays. In the grass, we caught them on a Strike King red eye shad like the one on your left. Then, when we had to downsize our tackle, we went to the Jean LaRue Salt Head Shaky Worm in some very subtle colors, a little 4-inch finesse worm. And then we stayed with the Jean LaRue Biffle Bug. That's a mainstay in my arsenal. It works year-round. One other thing we did is we used the Stren Fluorocast fluorocarbon line, and you can see it there in the package. It's the gray package. That's the one to look for on your tackle store shelf if you want the clearest line possible. The fishing lesson for you this week on Stuff That Matters is this: never throw a catfish. Now, what could he possibly mean by that? Well, one of my greatest fishing stories, several years ago, I was fishing over in East Texas for bass and I caught a couple of catfish by accident. Well, I thought I would take those home, fillet those up for a nice meal for my wife and I, so I put them in the live well. Forgot all about them till I was driving home. I was driving right through Dallas, Texas, across the I-30 bridges across Lake Ray Hubbard. Thought, well, I don't want to fillet these 2 fish late at night, so I'm going to do the sporting thing and throw them back. So I pulled over on the shoulder, walked halfway down the embankment with a catfish in each hand, hauled off and threw that fish so he would land in the water. Then, walking back up the embankment, I looked down and saw my tendon. Yes, that's right. That catfish fin had split my index finger wide open and I could actually see my tendon. So I had to go back to the phone, call the doctor. He met me at his office at 11 o'clock at night for 8 stitches. Once again, your lesson for this week: never throw a catfish. Hey, I hope you enjoyed our trip to Lake Austin, downtown Austin, Texas on this week's show. And hopefully we passed along some tips and pointers that can help you the next time you're fishing on a highly pressured lake like this one is. Don't forget to join us for our show. We'll be on next week at 10:30 on Thursday night with a repeat airing 7:30 on Saturday morning. And you can always catch the latest updates and any changes to our show schedule on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. From Lake Austin, Texas, until next week, I'm Barry Stokes. Be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.